Hey, Carlos in Brooklyn, New York City. Brooklyn is in the house. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and you have sent me 2 pair of frames to cut lenses for. These are your Dolce+Gabonnas. The first pair I cut for you is for your Ray-Bans. It came with this lens, which is a gradient lens, and you wanted a darker one, so we put the gray lenses in there, much darker. That's going to look good to match your frame color. Let me set those down. And now I'm going to begin work on your Dolce+Gabbonna. Let's see, it is model number 2049, color 265 in the 62 eye size. So, great frame, the classic look that'll never go out of style. It is heavy, but that's because of the original glass lenses that I'm about to take out. And you're going to love the weight of this frame when I put in the super lightweight, unbreakable lenses. Whereas if you were to ever drop these and these lenses hit the ground, they will shatter. If you were wearing these and you accidentally hit in the face with anything, a rock, a tree branch, anything possible, something flying up the road while you're walking on the sidewalk, if it hits that lens and cracks that lens and slices your eye wide open, game over. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Your eye will not heal. So I'm going to put in the unbreakable super safe lenses that are so much lighter weight. So I just want to clean, anytime I have someone's frame, a used frame, I just want to clean any body oil, sweats, any debris that could get in the way of the tracing element of my Santinelli LE1000 patternless edger, or as I like to say, the Santinelli. So the stylus has traced the shape of your right lens. I'm just going to program the computer telling it the size of your frame. And it is a big one. I got to keep going. Watch it climb. I'm going to stop at 79. I will stop automatically. Actually, the computer does it for me, but it looks impressive, doesn't it? So these are polycarbonate lenses being cut for a metal frame. And these are polarized lenses. Let me take them out of their protective packets. This is the classic Ray-Ban G15. And actually, don't worry, that's not the color of your lens. They put a protective film over there while it's being shipped to me, so I'm going to use my thumbnail to scrape off one side. This is a scratch-proof coating that they do to protect your lens when they're mailing it to me. Now that's the color of your lens. Unless you like it like that, I can do that one too. But this is the classic Ray-Ban G15 look. And I will demonstrate to you how you can always test to see if lenses are polarized. When you look through one meridian, I'm going to hold these up to the light. When I pass one in front of the other, you can still see through the lens, but you hear the term polar opposites, meaning that if I were to rotate this lens by 90 degrees, it goes pitch black and blocks all the light that's coming in. So that's how you can always test to see if a lens is polarized. Take a second one, hold it up in the opposite meridian, and it'll block all light if it is polarized. Let me clean up my mess real quick. Now this is a block. This is what's going to hold the lens in place while it's cutting. I need to attach a double-sided adhesive sticker, and with my luck, 3M, the same people who make Post-it notes, make a double-sided adhesive. The black side is the sticky side, so I stick that on the block, pull the tape away, making that side sticky, and I put that on the lens. I'm going to do the same thing now for the other lens. I would call it the left lens, but because you're a non-prescription, it doesn't matter if this is left or right, so I'm going to go ahead and make this the right. I'm going to take your lens, put it into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I just don't know this machine well enough to call it chuck. So the first thing that's going to happen, apart from really bad puns or humor, is these calipers are going to come down and they're going to trace the shape of your frame onto the lens to make sure it's large enough to fit into your frame. And this is a stretch. It's coming close to the edge because that is a large eye size frame. But starting on the back surface, the rear surface, the concave surface, now it is tracing the convex, which is the front surface of the lens, measuring the thickness of the lens to know exactly where to place the bevel. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left. It's that lighter color wheel. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away that lens material. This wheel in the center where that channel is what's going to put the bevel onto the lens. I will have to close the door, but for now I just want you to see it touch the cutting wheel. I can't talk over that. So yes, your lens has touched down onto the cutting wheel. I'm going to use my Phillips head screwdriver and loosen the eye wire screw and have this ready. This whole process will take about 15 minutes. It's now 7:56, Thursday, July 17th, 61 degrees. Actually, it is not. My phone has lost track with my watch. It is now 84 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, which is actually halfway between Miami and New York City, where you live, Carlos. I'm halfway between Atlanta and Washington, D.C., and halfway between Miami and New York City. And halfway crazy. Okay, I'm more than halfway crazy. But you're stuck with me cutting your lenses. What are you gonna do? Hey, just like you say in Brooklyn, what are you gonna do? You're gonna find someone else to cut lenses for you? Film it, explain the whole process? Okay, so the water jets have kicked in, which means that we're in the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle. If I wasn't being so stupid, I would have showed you that polycarbonate lenses cut dry, and the only time water touches them is the last cycle where it's just trying to wash away any optical debris. I apologize, I just cut 2 videos for a guy in Manchester, England who brings out the silly in me, and I've got to wind back down and become professional. So Carlos, you're getting a little bit of silly, a little bit of professional, a whole lot of high quality, unbreakable. Oh, by the way, your lenses, yeah, they're a polycarb, meaning that they're unbreakable. They're bulletproof up to 22 caliber, just in case you go into Queens or the Bronx. But they're unbreakable, bulletproof up to 22 caliber, and has both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin. Well, your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Now, you still have a little bit of rough edges that are left over from the cutting cycle, so I'm going to use my handstone, which is completely flat. I can put my finger on it while it's running, and my finger gets warm because of the friction. But it's that friction that allows me to smooth out those rough edges, and there's no smoothing. I melt them. Now, this white powdery substance I'm scraping off your lens is called Schwarf. I use my thumbnail to do this, and I do this so much in the course of a day that I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail. My friends call it my occupational thumbnail. Now, once all of that is off of your lens, I collect it neatly into one pile on the counter, and then I wipe it on the floor. This is where I say, kids, stay in school. I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like this. So kids, if you want to grow up and make a mess, you gotta stay in school. So I tuck the lens in at the outside corner, make sure it fits all the way around in the frame. Then I take my Phillips head, my little tiny Phillips head screwdriver, tighten your little screw down, and we are good to go. So I'm going to start cutting the left lens. Flip that over, put that in here. Oops, yeah, see, I tried to hit start. No, it's telling me I got to go to the left. So I did. I'm flipping this over. We're going to cut the left lens now. Just like before, the calipers are going to come down and trace the back surface of the lens first to make sure this is large enough to fit. Then it's going to move over and trace the convex, the front side. Look how close that is to the edge right there. Ooh, boy, that barely fits. Barely fits. Why didn't you tell me you were sending me such a big frame? I'm glad I just had this lens in stock. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. So when this starts cutting, I'm going to go ahead and continue to work on your right lens. Ooh, that's loud. So this block is no longer needed. I'm going to take this block off. Dry your lens off. Hold it up to the light. Just checking for any imperfections in the lens, which there aren't any. 1 out of 1,000 lenses may have a blemish, so I check every single lens. That's the one nice thing about being a one-man show. I'm responsible for every pair of lenses that gets cut and shipped all over the world. Like I said, I just had to send this pair of Ray-Bans to Manchester, England. The Ray-Ban 2132, color 6053, which is the blue crystal, and a 55 eye size. I have access to every frame from Ray-Ban, Polo, Gucci, Prada, Versace, Coach, many, many, many more. So if there's any frames you want, I can put any prescription lens in. I can put any non-prescription lens into any frame. and you get to watch them being made. Oop, oop, oop. Sorry, I just want to make sure there's no moisture on the camera lens. That is not a big blue UFO hovering over your town. That was my wiping cloth. Alright, let's take this out, dry your lens off real fast, back to the handstone real quickly for the safety bevel, back to my thumbnail to scrape all that off, back to collecting this into one pile, you know what's coming next, and then I'll wipe it on the floor. Alright, alright. Grab my Phillips head screwdriver, loosen your eye-wire screw, and that's nice the way it says Dolce+Gabonna right there. Hopefully, can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Made in Italy. Can you see that? Can you see that? Okay, so I'm gonna pop the lens in. Come on, get in there, get in there. Let me turn this around the way I'm used to doing it. There we go. It's in all the way around, just using my fingers to check. Tighten that eye-wire screw down. Pop that block off, dry the lens off, hold it up to the light for an inspection. I'm also going to go ahead and make sure the frame is in standard alignment, that it's not crooked or warped. Look at that, look at that. Let me see if I can straighten that out for you. Tighten that side down so it fits better. Carlos, I'm going to go ahead and give you the full service on here. If this was pre-adjusted because you have one ear that's much higher, sorry about that for straightening everything out, but I just want to make sure it's uniform and that everything is fitting perfect. Even though I don't know what your head looks like, I'm just going to play it safe and make sure, bring that hinge in some so that both temples are there uniform. If these have been yours for a while, I'd almost guess that you're left-handed, because if you take them off with one hand, it puts tension on that side, and that's why that side was stretched out. Can't remember if I did a visual inspection or not, so let me hold both of them up to the light, make sure they look good. Oh, perfect, perfect. So that's that. If anyone else out there has their own frames they want me to cut lenses for, just mail them to me. Carlos sent me 2 pair. I'm going to send them right back out to you now. For always free shipping for me to send it back to you. If you have any questions about what I can and can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Carlos in Brooklyn, New York. I hope you enjoyed watching me cut the green, well actually the G15 polarized lenses for your Dolce+Gabonna 2049, color 269 in the 62 eye size. So if anyone else out there has some frames they would need lenses cut for, just mail them to me. I'll get them back to you same day. And everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.